Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Crimi-Trent. Today we're painting a bright floral summer bouquet. Yes, I go thoroughly step by step. This is kind of a long tutorial on how I do these simple bouquets with the vase. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. Also, don't forget to check out my Patreon. I have a brand new tutorial over there this week of a beautiful flower cart. I give you a PDF download of the sketch, and then we go through the whole tutorial together. That's just an added bonus from what I do here on YouTube. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so we'll go over supplies. I have a piece of Arches 100% cotton. It's like a 7 by 10 inch piece of paper, paper towels, water jars, many different paints. I think today, instead of just using 3 colors, I'm going to use more colors. I have the Cadmium green deep, Peacock blue, Cadmium yellow deep, Quinacridone magenta. I might use this Verdier blue. I put in some bright rose in my palette over here, so I'll probably use that. So just take a pencil. We're going to just start with drawing the cylinder for the vase. It's just, basically put it right in the middle of your piece of paper. You want the bottom line to curve slightly, and then you're going to curve back here. That's kind of how the vase would go, and I'm going to keep it like a little short. So basically it's a line, like, make a rectangle, but you have a curved line here. And the water will probably go around here. I'm going to have a big bunch of flowers up in here, so I might make this a little shorter. So you know how to make a cylinder. I'm sure everybody knows how to make a cylinder. You probably learned this in class when you were a kid. I'm going to take my eraser now and erase most of it just to show where it's going to land. So I'm going to paint the flowers like I always do, loose and intuitively, which means I just paint as I go along. I'm gathering up some brushes. I'll probably use quite a few different ones. I have the Grumbacher number 10 brush that I like. I'm always using this Princeton long round velvet series. I might have to get another one. It's getting kind of destroyed. For big flowers also, I could use this wonderful Robert Simmons 1/2 inch oval sapphire brush. The number is S52. But anyway, let's start off by making some colors. And like I said all the time, you don't have to use the same colors as me. Just, giving you a guide. So I'll put some water into my magenta. Very loose. Gonna grab some of this yellow. I want to make a blush color. It's a pretty blush color. Pretty wet. And I'm using the oval brush that I talked about. Just like the belly of it. It's rounded tip to make easy flowers. And we're just gonna make some simple flowers. I'm just going to push down on the brush. It's pretty wet, so I'm going to have to take off some of the paint on my paper towel. And pushing down again. So we're creating this flower just by doing that. And we're just pushing it. And pushing it this way. Pushing it like this. You see how I'm just pushing that brush. And then you get your first big flower. You always want to mixture of big and dainty flowers. Same thing with the leaves. It gives the painting more, oh, excuse me. See what happens? I had some paint on here. Now, if that happens to you, go take your brush, get the water on there. Oh, that water. Goodness gracious. It was all dirty. And paper towel real quickly. Voila, it's gone. Mixture of bigger flowers, smaller flowers. Give it more of a variety. I'm gonna add a little more yellow to this. Again, I'll do another one over here. See, I just went back and forth. Make a fatter petal. And then here, I'm making it shorter. And kind of curved here so that the flower is not open all the way. It's not natural in nature that the flowers are like perfect and open. See a little dot of watercolor got over here. I'll just have to fix that. So you see like this half, just a stroke right here, that's the half petal that you see on a distance. It's kind of like curved, whatnot. So it's kind of like a poppy in a way. I'm just painting sporadically Maybe do some sunflowers in here too, summer kind of element. I showed you in one of the videos I have on my YouTube how to make so easy sunflowers using this one brush that I have. And that's an oval brush. I gotta find it. It is hiding. Here it is. This is another Princeton brush. This is the 1/2 inch Neptune series. I have a lot of Neptune series and Velvet Touch series, but this is a really pointy. See, unlike this one. Rounder. Pointier. See? This brush makes easy leaves, easy petals, like a sunflower petals. So I'm going to get my yellow here. Add a teeny bit of this magenta just to tone the yellow down a bit. I have a tutorial on how to make black-eyed Susans with this brush, and I've done this brush, use this brush for easy sunflowers. So here we go. See, just putting that petal down, just pushing it down. Pushing down and pulling up. Pushing down, pulling up. Look at that. This one brush makes the easiest sunflowers. And you kind of go around. You see I'm just moving the brush around. Again, you're not going to be showing the whole sunflower. See that? That was the easiest sunflower on the planet. Don't tell me a beginner can't do that. Come on. It's all in the brush. And I'm going to make a little darker, deeper yellowy orange color. When that dries, you can put in some more layers. I can just go right on top right now too if I wanted to, which I'm doing. See, it's very wet, so it's just going to blend. You might want to wait till it dries, but you can still put it in here if you want to just have this tonal effect. Again, I might do another one, a smaller one, getting more yellow. Let's get this loose here. Dab it on the paper towel if it's too much paint. Put a little one out here. Same thing. This is less water, so it's going to be more concentrated. Just a little teeny sunflower right in the back. See? Just pushing that and then going behind it like that. So we're going to make this a summer flower bouquet. Yeah, like when you think of summer bouquet, you think of multicolors, wild, crazy, you know, it's not this perfect setup bouquet. You could have cosmos and delphiniums and roses and sunflowers, poppies, you know, all that good stuff. Sweet peas, of course, those are very tiny. I have some in my yard. Let's do some purple, and that's easy with this peacock blue. I mean, you can buy purple, but all you need is peacock blue and this Quinacridone magenta, as you see here, and I'm mixing it. Oh, you can't see it here. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. So those two colors make a pretty purple. Okay, and I'll take some of that off. I'll just make some little simple purple flowers. I can still use this crazy brush, making pointy type flower. You want the flowers to be different. Has that pointy tip. So you can make these fun pointy flowers. This brush would be really good if you wanted to make cosmos. Excuse me, not cosmos. The cornflowers. It's like a fuzzy, funky tip, right? Now I'm going to go back and let me see if I use my grumbacker or my. See, I decide as I go along. That's how I like to roll. And I know it bothers people, but take some of this color out. So we got the magenta now, very bright. Let's do some very bright flowers. I'm gonna do like a half flower, kind of like a tulip, with this Simmons oval brush. See, just using 2 strokes. Maybe another one like that. And I'll turn it on its side. I'll add a little more petals. So that's intense, right? If you don't want that intense color, that's fine, you can mute it down. I'll put another one here. See, I'm just turning it on its side and then pushing the color to each other like that. I might put some, this dried pretty light, this middle flower. Go back in and add some yellow. See, now we can go and put in some layers on that one. Making this color again, but just a little bit darker. And I dab in the paper towel. See, you can get some more layers. I'm just turning it on side, pushing down, turning on side. So when you turn this brush on its side, it can create skinnier lines. And if you want this brighter, because it really dried so pale, just go right on over it. Because in my mind, it's too pale. I wanted a bright, vibrant bouquet. So I might go back over this one too. This is not going to work with those bright fuchsia flowers. We want some bright tonal flowers. If you hear that noise, that's my dog, Brady, with his little jiggly collar. So we got those flowers going. And I think I'm going to add like a little bud down here. The same colors. Maybe another one out here. And we'll start adding in the green in a bit. I'm going to add some more purple flowers. So I have that purple color that I showed you how to mix. And I'll put another little one in here. This is pretty intense. It will dry lighter though. So I'm still using the Robert Simmons brush on the side. And see how that made the rounded, skinny tip as opposed to the pointy one. I'm just putting that in there. And for this one, I'm going to go back on that one. Take some more of the same combination of the paint, less water. Again, using the side, and you're just pushing out the paint from the center outward. Darker color. Look at that. Pretty, right? I feel like I need another flower in here. Maybe a little yellow daisy or something. So we'll grab that yellow paint. Again, using this brush. So you can just curve it. See, I'm using this curve motion, going towards the middle, turning the brush around. And you've got this funky daisy. Okay, now we can build more with the green. So I have the cadmium green. I'm going to add more, way more stuff in here too. Just lots of stuff. Silly on Floral Friday. This is the cadmium green deep. And I wanted more lime green, so I'll add this yellow to it. Just grab all that yellow. Need a lot of it, so I'm mixing a lot. You always want a variety of greens. And now I'm switching the brush again. I'm going to use my Princeton long round because I like the tip. I could still use the oval one, but I want to use this one. So now I'm going to flush in some stems. You know, I might change the color of some of the stems. So here I'm going to change the screen up. Get a darker green here. Add a little of the peacock blue. And some magenta. And this deep dark green, which works for sunflowers because they have a dark green stem. And I'll just put that little there, and I'll push the brush out and wiggle it for the sunflower leaf. See, wiggle. And you get that sunflower leaf, that loose leaf. Put another one in here. And I still have this light green. So just making just loose stems and leaves with this brush and just pushing down, connecting it. So I'm constantly mixing up the greens. And then here for the stems, like the sunflower one, I'm going to go right into the vase, just like that. If you picture the flower, it's coming down like this, and you're going to go right into the vase like that. Right? That one was for that one. That one's for that one. Again, I'm going to grab some more red and blue. Red's going to make it more brown, green, and I'll add a yellow. And we have this really deep, darker brown green, which is great for the stems, but you still want different color stems, and you're going to pull them down. Skinny ones, fat ones. Clean up your brush. Some light green ones. See how I'm doing this? Just pulling in all the stems coming downward. And we're going to keep adding more flowers too. So we're going to have to add more stems. So I'm going to add, I want to add like a little triangle, like it's the flower meeting the stem here. Now we're going to start adding some skinny stems. What's on the flowers going to it? You can go behind the sunflower. See how I just put it behind it? And you add little branches coming off that. Put some over in here. Put another one out here. And out here. And obviously where these little branches are, we're going to put some leaves and flowers off that. I would put in maybe an orange type cauliflower. I'm going to grab this green out of here. Clean up the palette a bit. Now I have orange watercolor, but I can make it with my magenta and my yellow. It's a pretty orange. Get a little loose. And then we can make some simple flowers here. Again, using the tip of the brush. See, I'm just pushing the paint. These don't have to look realistic. It's all about having fun with color. I might want to put one of those orangey type flowers down in here and over in here, and we'll add the stems later. Maybe some blue tone flowers. So I'll take out some of this purple and grab more of that peacock, mix it with the purple. We could add a little yellow to have more turquoise color. See, now I got this turquoise. And then I could put little, almost like cornflowers right here. Just using the tip of my brush. You see how I'm just pushing that out? Having fun with this. Same thing over in here. I don't want you guys to get bogged down with like realistic flowers. It's supposed to be fun. And now I'm playing more with leaves again. So I'll go grab that yellow, mix it with the green. Let's put in some leaves, simple leaves. You're building the bouquet. Now obviously this is really toned down. And the more concentrated the color, like less water, the more intense it will be. I'm going to put some leaves in here. Going to have some leaves hanging down. Makes it more interesting. Attach the leaf, the stem to that, and have some leaves hanging down here. Can have a bud hanging down here, like the poppies. I have a new poppy tutorial up, very simple and easy to do. I'm just going to add some greenery in between the flowers and another leaf coming out here. This is how we're building this wildflower. I don't know if it's wildflower, it's just summer flowers. Just adding some greenery. Just keep going around. I'm gonna add to that flower. I think I need something up here. If it goes in front of the flower, that's fine too. I'm gonna put some really just dark greens in between some of these flowers, just for some more depth. It helps the flower pull out. Just right in here, just fill in these little areas. Doesn't have to look perfect, but it has to make sense, right? So, you know, you don't see sunlight going through the bouquets unless they were very thin. So we're adding some dark green elements. And you can add a green leaf. Just building and building and building. And pull that down. Another stem. Crisscross. Making this more interesting. Okay, now I'm going to go back in. See, this dried again so light, right? I really want it intense. So I'm going to go back in one more time. Less water. More paint. And that, you know, this green bled into here, and that's fine. It's interesting. So we're going to do the inward, outward. Pushing this brush strokes. Just like this. Skinny and fat. Just like that. And then on this one, we're just going to hit that outer edge. We can even make the outer edge a little bit darker. And same thing with this one. Let's go back in with this dark color. Just going like this. Going from these strokes like this. Helps you become looser. And I'll go in here and add this dark stroke in here. Just simple strokes like that. You can just throw in washes of the dark red, just like sporadically in here. Just throw some in here, like there'd be color flowers behind there. Now the yellow, I'm gonna take some of this out. See, I made it more of a dark yellow for the sunflowers. This is what I was talking about. We can go in and layer it. I don't have that same brush, but I'm using this brush. See? I'm gonna take some of that off. The sunflower. You're gonna, you know, sunflowers are not this flat yellow. They have these tonals. I'm gonna have to add more of the yellow. Building up this yellow. Get some lighter ones in the background or darker ones in the front. Just adding in some brighter tones. You can use that the brush that I showed you in the first. See, I'm going to add some other layers of the sunflower in between those petals. And leave the other ones. This one was darker, so I could. This one was too light. And the daisy too. Just go in and just a little bit of darker yellow towards the center. And even still, with the sunflowers, you can go in and add an even darker element going towards the center. And here's the bright fuchsia flowers. I'm going to clean up my palette here. Get that red out. Here's that bright fuchsia. But it's really magenta. I'm calling it fuchsia. Now I still have my pointy. Remember I used a flatter round brush for this, but I'm going to use my pointy brush to go in and add some detail. Just the same thing we did with the red. You can go in and highlight some of the petals on the side, like just going like that. and then go in and feather in and outward some of the strokes. And building, 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 building. I'm going to add a few of these. Take the brush and just dab. Look at that. They don't have to look like these perfect flowers, but they're fun and pretty to look at. And the purple too. So I'm going to add some of that Peacock. I've got my purple. See, just going to feather out from the center this dark purple color. And I really want like a blue purple somewhere around here. So I'm going to add some of that Peacock blue right there. Put some of that over here. A little too much. I'll take some out. I can grab some of my bright rose because it's really ready to go instead of squeezing out some more magenta. And look at that. There we go. Blue purple. Now I'm going to water that down. I'm just going to put some little, small little petal flowers here. You see that? A little more delicate, a little bit lighter. And it's just going to change up the bouquet. I'll add the greenery in a bit. And I'll put some more up here. Now it seems like I ran out of space in my paper, but that's fine. It's kind of fun. You don't have to have like a paper that's perfect. You could frame it just like this on the frame with the edges that are rough without having to have a mat. And I'm going to add a little more purple up here. Just some small little delicate little petals. When you get the little delicate ones, I'm going to go over this color a little bit. Just really punch it up. When you have those little delicate flowers, then you can take Peacock and magenta or whatever you have, make that darker purple. Really concentrated. And you just go in here and dab the center. If it bleeds, it's like a nice pretty bleed. Same thing here. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to add some more greenery, and then we're going to fill in the centers, and then we're going to do our vase. Yes. So I made some more green. Going to add a little more yellow, and a touch of this purple. Tone it down a little bit. Kind of like it bright, so I can put little. That's a little too dark. Make some light green on the side here. Just these little teeny leaves in between. And over in here. Just going to fill in a little more greenery. Just make it more interesting. I made that really dark, didn't I, huh? Okay, so I think these are pretty dry that we can go and fill in the center. For the poppy and the sunflower, I mean, you could have some yellow and then go around with black later. Or we could have the yellow on the purple ones. But for the sunflower, obviously you can have a dark black, dark brown center. So I'm just going to use my black paint. I'm just going to go in here, do like a half little halo. I like to leave a little halo. Same thing with this one. And you can do like a little, just teeny little spikes coming out from the sunflower. Just gives it more interest. Teeny weeny. Then of course, down here, like a little black-eyed Susan peeking through. We're gonna have to wait till this dries to go and do those. So let's concentrate on the vase. It's supposed to be clear like white, and you can just use like a turquoise color, which I mixed over here. I'm going to get rid of some of it because I want it to be pretty light. So I'm going to have this turquoisey kind of bluish color. God, my paper towel has gotten out of control. I need a new one. All right. It's a long video. Sorry, guys. We're going to just take the brush, go down that line. Like, remember, this is not like a perfect, realistic type of bouquet. It's supposed to be fun and pretty. And we're just taking the outline of the actual vase that we drew. And then where the water is, oh, got some green that was still wet. Go right over the flowers like that. The top would be over here. So then here, we're going to play around with coloring. I'm going to do the wash of like the turquoise coming down like it's water. And then here, can leave some white. You get the feeling that it's water. I'm going in between some of the stems. You know, leaving a little white in between the first line I put down. And then you're going to add some depth to that. So I'm going to take some black with my turquoisey color, get it really dark. Just adding in just a few these really dark lines you see here pretty quickly, and if it bleeds, that's fine. Up here, a couple down here, just giving that depth look. See that? Just a little darker on the outside, a little bit in here, some in between here, and down in here. That's pretty much how I do it. Now this is pretty dry. I can go back in with the black, and I'm just going to tap in some dots, a little in the center, and then some dots on the outside. See, I'm just tapping on the outer edge of that center, and then again another row behind it, and a couple in the center. And then from here you're just tweaking everything. I mean, you can add some darker green on this side here. The little fuzzies indicate it's a poppy. Poppy. Again here, lines on this leaves. You're just going in and filling in all the little details you want to do with your flowers, but pretty much that's it. There's your bright floral bouquet. You can add a little darker orangey red, maybe some lines with the sunflower, the back petals. Just go in and add the details that you feel that you want to do to it. It's pretty much just giving you the generalization of how to do it. Make a bright floral summer bouquet. I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. Don't forget to check out my Patreon, like I showed you before in the beginning. Look at that. You could be doing this fun flower cart. I give you a sketch download, and then that's a huge long tutorial on how to paint it all. If you become a member of my Patreon, it's just another added bonus from the YouTube that I do. Trying to do my best to give out great content. I'm adding a little darker purple in here. I noticed that was just kind of sitting there. And, you know, just another thing if you're into that. Because these don't come with the download sketches and whatnot. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I hope you have a fantastic, fabulous weekend. Take care, and I will speak to you soon.